And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Film Vomit Podcast. My name is Mac Taylor.
My name's DJ.
And tonight we are going to talk about a film we liked. So if you're looking for people yelling about a bad film, check out our Halloween 6 podcast.
Not
You're gonna love
happening
it.
on this one.
All right, let's not mess around. Let's just go ahead and jump right
Straight
into
it.
Halloween H20, made in 1998, approximately 20 years after the release of the first Halloween. Directed by Steve Miner, who is known in the horror community for directing Friday the 13th Part 2 and Friday the 13th Part 3, and Lake Placid.
Yeah, there's another one. I knew there was.
He's done other films, but those are the ones that I've seen and I really like. Yeah,
mainstream.
Yeah, his claim to fame at the Friday, and he was also like the AD on Friday Part 1, so he was part of the first few Friday the 13th.
Okay.
All right, well, to the movie we did watch today, which was Halloween H20. So right off the bat in this movie, we get the Mr. Sandman song from Halloween 2,
which was refreshing.
Oh, it was great.
Good little flashback.
And then we get the the knife going into the pumpkin, and
kind of startling.
Yeah, and it was nice fall stuff.
Yeah.
It was good, especially after the fucking garbage of the dark, rainy Halloween.
And it wasn't
6.
a long intro. It was there wasn't really an intro at all. I'm 100% okay with it because after all the others, the intros were just long.
We're good with just getting right into the movie.
Just jump into the movie. Don't waste my time.
Especially after all the crap we endured for really the past 2 films.
No more.
It was this whole film can really just be called refreshing.
It was, especially because 4, good.
4 was good,
but 5 and 6, this is definitely a nice thing to watch throughout the series and finally get something that isn't terrible.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. So yeah, right off the bat, we get the fall scenery. We get the leaves and the pumpkin carving and the kids running around being mischievous. Like, it feels like fall.
It's Halloween
instead of a dark, rainy, rock-filled garbage fest. I'm still venting about how pissed I am about Halloween 6. Fucking rocks. Anyway, so we get that. We get the fall scene. And then Nancy Stevens from Halloween 1 and 2 is reprising her role as... What is the nurse's name? I never remember her name.
I'm going to go with Nurse Nancy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not Nurse Nancy.
Nurse Nancy. Let's see.
Marion? Nancy Stevens?
Marion.
Nurse Marion. Okay, I was like, I never remember her name. I just go, hey, look, it's the nurse from Halloween 1 and 2.
I don't ever really remember them saying her name, in all honesty.
Probably didn't. They probably came up with it later.
Yeah.
They're like, well, she's been in 2 films. We should probably give her a fucking name. But yeah, she popped up like, hey, it's Nancy Stevens. And which is cool that they got someone from the first 2 that wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
It was a nice throwback here. So she comes in and she's about to walk into her house, and then all of a sudden, someone
steps on some glass.
Because the light had been broken. Yeah, and she's like, "That's odd."
You think?
So, and then again, we get the stock factor back here in this Halloween.
The stock factor was definitely back since probably the 4th one, and even the 4th
DJ calls it the stock factor. This isn't actually a term, but I like it. Stock factor
works because it's what he does, and the others. I mean, he stalked in the others, but it wasn't dominant.
In 4, 5, or 6, we really don't get much.
You get it, but it's just like
if he's there, he's doing something.
In this one, he was like, there was a lot of times where he's in the background constantly, and even in like daydream sequences, and it's really chilling.
In Halloween 4, 5, and 6, and Michael Myers is there, someone dies.
Yeah,
like some action happens. This one, it's back to like Halloween 1 and 2, where he's there and he's not. He's just watching.
He is,
and that's creepy, and that's awesome that we went back and did that. Nurse Marion, I keep wanting to call her Nancy. She goes across the street to, or is it the next door neighbor?
Just next door.
Next door neighbor. Jimmy and his friend, but Jimmy played by very young Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Third Rock from the Sun young.
Yeah, it's true. I think this was hot off of Third Rock from the Sun.
Probably, yeah, pretty much right off that. Middies, probably.
Mid-series? I don't know when it ended.
Not too sure, honestly.
Either way, very young Joe Gordon-Levitt. And he does really good in this role, honestly.
2001.
Okay, so yeah, still going on Third Rock from the Sun. And Jimmy's kind of like this
Billy Badass.
He's like a
he's
loud mouth.
Yeah, and he's you can tell he's that bad boy stoner type.
Yeah. And so she's like, "Hey, someone broke in my house." So he calls the cops for her again.
That was very nice.
It was very nice of him.
That was nice.
Then he offers to go check out the house, which balls.
Nah, I wouldn't have done that. I don't care.
I wouldn't have done that. That's why I'm saying balls.
I mean, now I probably would because I'm a little older and I have self-defense tactics. But at a little 16-year-old with a hockey stick going in a house,
he does walk in with a hockey stick.
It's just not gonna happen. Any dude I like, he just starts banging it around on the floor, like, yeah, scare you.
He says,
I've got suspended 5 times
for being a little too crazy with the stick. But like, who the fuck gets suspended 5 times isn't expelled? Like
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. They're like, we'll give you one more chance because you're so darn talented.
I wonder what he was doing in school with a hockey stick.
Well, I mean, I guess he's part of the school hockey team, which they're in Illinois. Does Illinois schools have hockey teams? Because my school didn't have a hockey team. So
I don't know. They're close enough to Canada.
My school might have had a hockey team.
Mine didn't.
I know I didn't pay attention to school sports, so they might have. I don't know.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at me. Did I pay attention to school sports? I did not. But no, I really like him playing Jimmy because he's walking around in the rooms. He's
I liked it. It was refreshing seeing him as a young, because I'm so used to seeing him
in like the leading man and shit, or like the supporting role.
And he's just back there, you could tell like he's still got. It was a very sitcom acting sequence.
Because he's looking in the rooms and he sees her office is trash, like there are papers everywhere, and it's like, oh, cool. And he goes into the kitchen, like
raids the fridge.
Well, first he takes a bite of a cookie and like, throws it back on the counter. He opens up the fridge, starts putting
of course, what does a 17, 16-year-old do? Steal the beer.
Starts putting it in his sweatpants. Which how did it not fall out of his sweatpants?
Were they sweatpants?
They were sweatpants.
I couldn't tell.
And like he's putting them in the crotch.
I thought I put them in his pockets.
Maybe he did. To me, it looked like he's putting them in his pants. Because I don't know how he walked out. But then again,
pockets are
deep,
part of his pants.
And they're deep. Like sweatpants pockets are usually deep. Because he puts like 2 or 3 beers in there. And the ironing board falls.
It scares the shit out of him.
And he starts swinging a stick around. Like,
swings his hockey stick and destroys the house. And then he just,
because it's like that paranormal activity. I say the paranormal activity setup because that was a plot point in there, but like where the pots and pans are all on the rack above the island, and he just knocks the shit out of that whole island. And then he's like, oh, thank God. He goes out there, and he's like, you're good. Oh, by the way, they did a number on your office. Oh, and they did a number on your kitchen too.
I forgot about that.
And he goes, see ya
later.
Like if he wouldn't have acted so sketchy, she probably wouldn't have known he trashed her kitchen. So she goes back inside.
Starts roaming through the house.
Yeah, and she sees that her study's trashed and the Laurie Strode file is missing.
Well, I liked. Did you notice the nice little picture frame of Donald Pleasance?
Yes,
Loomis.
Just so they can be like, he's there.
He's there.
Because according to plot, she has been taking care of Loomis since the hospital explosion.
Because this is a direct sequel to 2.
This ignores 4, 5, and 6.
3, 4, 5, and 6.
Well, everything ignores 3.
I just had to mention it just because.
So yeah, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
So 3, 4, 5, and 6 don't exist here. Although, as 4, 5, and 6 were going to be in existence, but they had one scene, and it was in the schoolroom later on that we would get to, and it was basically a student giving report on the Michael Myers murders and talking about Jamie and the death of Jamie's parents, aka Laurie Strode, and the reasoning for her being gone in 4, 5, and 6 was Laurie Strode was going to be in witness protection, and they lied to Jamie, telling her that she died in a car accident, but really she was in witness protection.
See, I'm glad they didn't do all that.
That would have been
that's
way too much.
So convoluted to this plot. And if we learned anything from 5 and 6, the less you can cram into 90 minutes, the better.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it would have been nice to have some sort of connection there if they could have, but there was another way of doing it.
When he was signing on to this film, he's like, we cannot address the cult of the thorn or any of that. He's like, I want to just start over after 2. And I'm like, yeah, that's good.
I'm okay with that because there's no need for that thorn shit.
And there's no way to explain
They're
how the things that have happened can still be a part of this world.
So let's just keep because I can't go on about
Yeah,
that
I
anymore,
can't.
right? I can't even. That's infuriating.
Again, if you want to hear our opinions about the Cult of Thor and watch our Halloween 5 and 6 reviews, we are
mainly 6.
mainly 6, but in 5, I am the pissed off one in 5. He is the pissed off one in 6.
Definitely.
More so. But of course, he takes the beer. Then the power is out in her house too when she's rummaging through her
Yeah,
house.
because she was tripping the fuse boxes.
And then she comes out and the front door is wide open.
Like it's not only wide open, but
It's like swinging.
It moves open.
As if somebody
like,
had like
okay.
just walked through it.
And she just like, you said you would have been gone at that point. I get that. Like, maybe I forgot to shut the door. Let me go check it out.
Even if I did it myself, I'd be like, fuck it. I'm not taking chances.
So she goes and shuts it. But then the back door does the exact same thing. That is when I'm like, all right, deuces.
Yeah. If the back door is also wide open, you're not like, oh, well, does she normally just walk around opening random doors?
I'll give her a little credit because she got about halfway down the hall before she was kind of like, I think she saw a shadow like glimpse across.
Because wasn't Michael standing behind her?
Yeah. No, Michael Meyer was standing, like he walked
before the back door opened.
Yeah. He walked
across the.
Yeah. Because you saw him in the front when the front door opened. You saw him while she was walking in like the study.
Okay, but maybe this is just my sleuthing abilities. But if the Laurie Strode file is missing and random doors are open, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
Makes sense. It would make sense.
But even though, to her credit, right after the second door, she's like, and she walks out the front door, goes to Jimmy and his
Tony, I think.
This kid had like hardly anything.
Yeah,
it was pretty much just Joseph.
She was like, let's go in there, check it out. And he's like, no, I think I'll stay out and protect her, which was very smart on his part.
Yes, like really, this kid didn't want to die, and too bad for this kid. So she goes next door, and she's like, Jimmy, and he's in the chair. And
she turns it, and he's got a skate in his face. Like, I wish we could have seen that.
Jimmy may get crazy with the stick, but Michael gets crazy with the skate.
He ain't going nowhere with that skate in his face. Like, it was straight, like it was cracked.
And then on the movie he's watching in the background is Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is Steve Miner's favorite B horror film.
Right.
So just a little
cool.
It's also public domain, so they could use it for free.
There's always a public domain movie in these.
There's because you don't have to pay for them. So
in 1, 2, 3.
Technically, 3 had Halloween.
Yeah,
it's not a B movie or public domain.
Whatever.
But they had the rights. But they had the rights.
Was there one in 4? I don't think there was one in 4, 5, or 6.
I don't think anyone had time to watch movies in those.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a little fun fact. But yeah, Jimmy's got a skate through his face, and then she goes to walk out the door, and what did you say his name was? Tony?
Tony, I think.
He's got a knife in his back. He falls. He does that thing where the body falls on her.
Like, which is...
Well, I guess, Michael walks in after that. So I guess Michael stabbed him into the door, and as she opened it, he fell into the... Timing is a little off.
I was kind of curious. Like, it was almost like he was standing there.
Waiting for the door to open.
Yeah, and then he just died. I don't know. That kind of blurred me a little bit.
It was kind of out there. But then again, horror logic,
Maybe, like, now you say he probably was, like, stabbed into the door when she opened the door. Like,
that's how I'll try to explain it. But that thought was probably not put into it. But we'll say.
That's our reasoning behind it.
Falls into it, and then she's like, fuck. And she's trying to push the body off her. Michael walks to the door. Not looking too bad, honestly, because the mask he's wearing in this scene is from Halloween 6.
Okay.
Because there's 3 different masks used in this film, sadly.
Technically 2, if you want to be very technical.
There's 2 physical masks used in this movie.
The third is a CGI mask, which apparently
we'll get to.
In the 90s. In the 90s, is like the cool thing to do, I guess.
Well, I think they had a problem with the mask that was used in that scene they didn't want to use. Like, I think it was the one from Halloween 6, and they wanted to
see if I can find out why. If
it was a dumb fucking idea. Whoever's idea that was.
Seriously,
it was a stupid fucking idea.
Because it was literally just that one scene.
Just that one scene. Yeah,
and you could tell.
And like, why? Why just leave the other mask in there? Because that would look better than what the fuck we saw.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. I can't even begin on that yet. So Michael walks in and she freaks out. And she's kind of running all around this place. The cops show up to answer the call, but trying to fight back.
Like, she's got that fire poker and she's red. Like,
she's hitting him, beating him. And then she uses her like he falls down and she breaks the window to be like, hey, I'm in here.
And like
they still don't hear
the cop, like they literally just walked in the door, so they weren't like out of hearing range. I'm like, I'd have heard that.
Yeah, I'd have heard that too.
Because you ever heard glass shatter? It's not quiet. Glass
No.
shattering is actually freaking loud.
And then she screams, "I'm in here, damn it!" And then he slits her throat.
And they still don't hear it.
And
then
they
they're
still
like,
don't hear
then they
it.
walk back out and they just happen to look over the neighbor and see the glass broken. Like, oh, look like we got a double header over here. No, you idiot.
I was waiting for the
Those
cops
are the
from
two
Halloween
bozos.
5.
Yeah, the bozos.
The stupid fucking music.
Boom, 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 boom.
Like, turns out they live. They faked
They
their
survived.
deaths.
They think that was smart on their part. Good job, guys. But go away. We're good.
But no, these weren't those stupid
No.
cops. They were two other stupid cops.
cops. Stupid cops must be a common thing up in Illinois.
Must be.
That would explain all the killing.
So then Michael, while they're doing that, Michael goes ahead and gets in Nancy's car.
No, not Nancy's.
Mary.
Jimmy's.
No, that was Marion's car.
No,
I
it was
thought.
the Jimmy's.
Was it Jimmy's?
Mm-hmm. Jimmy's house, bro.
Someone's car. I didn't even know, honestly. I just saw
It was
the car
over
pull
in
up.
Jimmy's house.
Oh, okay. So he gets in Jimmy's car, drives away. He's making his way to California.
California. Is that where they went?
Yeah, they're in California. So that is about, from here to California is a 23-hour drive.
So it's pretty close to that because I mean you're just going up.
Which the later scene makes sense because these things happen on those long drives.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get a really cool title sequence because like the door shuts and the Dimension logo comes in like as the door shutting and the Dimension logo like slides in. It looks really cool. I really like the way that looks. Yeah, and I addressed Steve Miner, and then we kind of go into the main plot of the movie. Laurie has a nightmare of
Michael.
Well, it goes into the closet, and we get a flashback of that closet scene from Halloween 1, and then it's like her son's picture with a knife in it, and then she wakes up going like screaming
bloody
her
murder,
fucking head off, and
you see in comes the heartthrob,
young Josh Hartnett,
first possibly second movie.
Did that thing where he's doing two at the same time and both credit him as the first movie, but
yeah.
it just depends on which came out first.
It was Faculty.
Faculty came out first, but who's seen Faculty? You've seen Faculty?
Long time ago.
See,
on TV, I've seen it.
I didn't even see Faculty. One out of two of us have seen Faculty.
That's 50%. That's pretty high.
But would you go as far as to say 1 in 2 people in the world have seen Faculty?
So you got 2 viewers, maybe ask them.
One of the 2 people watching, have you seen Faculty? Let us know in the comments below. Anyone watching this video, have you seen the movie Faculty with Josh Hartnett? If so, comment below. If not,
it is considered a classic.
Is it?
Yes.
I've never heard of this movie.
When I worked at Family Video, it was in the classics section.
Well, that is a dumb fucking classic.
It's not classics, favorites.
Favorites. Okay, that would make sense. I was like, classics.
Classics, not that.
Okay. Okay.
Favorites, but still.
But yeah, let us know in the comments below. Seriously, I want to know how many people have seen Faculty. Maybe we'll do it on the podcast at some point. Who knows? We'll have Josh Hartnett week.
Lucky number 11, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, we will have to do that at some point because you did high rate that. Back to the film we're watching.
We do that a lot.
So we meet Josh Hartnett, who's Laurie Strode. Well, Carrie Tate. She changed her name to Carrie Tate and moved to California to avoid Michael, who she feared would come back. Her son's name's John. John. So Josh Hartnett plays
you hear
John.
Quite a bit, actually. She gets very angry at him.
She does get very angry at him. So we meet him, and he comes in, and he's calming her down, and he goes and gets her pills. Like, he's done this. You can tell he does this, like, way too often.
Yeah. Well, because when he went out to the gut, or what were we talking about?
Talking about the nightmares.
The nightmares. Okay. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
It's understandable. And you could tell, like, so he comes downstairs, and she's like, you got a card in the mail. And he's like, birthday card. And she's like, it's only 2 months late this time. Like, and she basically points out that his dad was an abusive alcoholic.
Headmistress of the school.
Yes, which we learned that the school he attends is like a private school, and she's like the headmistress of it, which, kind of makes sense. She likes to order. What a way to keep shit in order.
Also, you got a freaking fence around the entire place. How do you feel safer about that?
And it's cool because where she got arm slashed in the first movie, a scar.
Yeah.
Right here. It's like stitched up. It looks a lot worse, honestly, than what happened to her. But then again,
it was a good arm slash, bro.
It was a good arm slash. I am coining the term arm slash here. It's like you have stock factor, I have arm slash.
Stock factor's better.
And I beg to differ. Arm slash will come up a little more.
So we didn't talk about the opening credits real quick, or in between the Nancy's death and all that, and then the opening when Loomis had his little dialogue over. That's not Loomis.
That's another guy. Don Pleasance wasn't alive.
Well, they did, instead of using the
like
old
audio,
they got a
because it wouldn't sound as crisp.
Yeah, Tom Kane.
I think he does other Loomis stuff too.
Possibly. Like
in the new movie, there's a Loomis voiceover. I think he is also that guy.
He might be.
Sounds like Donald Pleasance though.
I couldn't tell.
So I read that. Good for this guy.
When I read that,
wonderful voice. But like while this banter gets real, like they do have kind of a fun mother-son relationship.
They do. It's an interesting one.
Like he kind of gives her shit
because you can tell that he takes care of her a lot, and
because she's an alcoholic.
She's a functioning alcoholic. Not just an alcoholic, a functioning one.
I mean, she has a job, like a stressful job too. But yeah, like she drinks all the time. It's just like she does.
We see later on, it's probably like 9 or 10 o'clock brunch, and she's chugging Chardonnay. Like she's drinking like 3 or 4 glasses.
But then again, like we'll get to it later. She drinks a lot in this movie.
Oh yeah, she does.
So you don't know what's a normal day in her life, and she has so much paranoia with like him specifically because she doesn't want what happened to her to happen to him, which with what we're about to have happen here, sorry, Lori, it's inevitable. And then so she's looking out a window and like Michael's face is in the background and she looks up and it slowly fades out as if like she sees him everywhere.
Yeah.
Even though it's been 20 years.
Haunting her.
It's been 20 years and he hasn't showed up since. It's still haunts her because as an actual,
she struggles with
like an actual survivor of something like that, where one night he just kept coming after her, she would have things like this.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Even 20 years later, I would say.
Like we really see psychological things in this film.
The psychological effect on her.
Which is, and we get I'll get to this in a little later. We get a huge chunk of story for Lori and her family, like without Michael, and it's nice because we this is like half psychological drama, half slasher,
right?
In a way, and it's again really refreshing to get something new. Then we get this is cool. So we go to this like bathroom in the middle of fucking nowhere, and we see the car Michael was driving has a flat tire.
Right. And then
this mother-daughter pull up to go to the bathroom.
The girls' bathroom's locked.
So they have to use the men's room. And so like there's no toilet paper and the mom's super cute.
The little girl's sitting in one stall and the mom's like, I'll be in the other one, and she locks them both. Which,
and like the girl's humming
kind of
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah, something like that.
And like she slides her like tissue paper to wipe with.
Purse is sitting out
like
right in her stall, but right by
like the door. Right on the door line. And
it shows her keys, and like at that point, you're kind of like, okay, I know what's going to happen.
Like
here.
Michael does not have a car right now because his tire's flat, and he doesn't have a spare, and he's not going to sit there and try to go to a gas station and change.
Which there's the stalk factor because he doesn't kill him.
No, which is cool about the scene. He walks in, and you're like, oh shit, he's going to kill that mom.
He shuts because she put a rock in front of the door to hold it open. He takes it and it slams, and it's all like
it's dark.
Yeah,
and he comes in and he just grabs her purse, and she's like. And then, like, he walks.
Which I give her credit because I'd be flipping the fuck out. I'd be flipping my shit.
But she doesn't lose her shit until in a minute. So, like, Michael turns and even sees her looking at him in the mirror and walks out.
Yeah. And
then she kind of looks away. Then she hears her daughter scream, and she's out that fucking stall. She's like, bam, into the next stall. And the girl's like, spy. And she's like, oh, thank God.
Super happy that my car just got stolen. My daughter.
I mean, hey. That's a legit response.
That's good.
Like, well, a car got stolen, but me and my daughter are still alive. We survived. So Michael he throws her purse and shit on the ground.
Like it's a trail to the car.
And he takes the keys and goes.
Which is weird because if he's just getting the keys
they're on the top.
So it's kind of like
he's like Michael's not nice. No. Come on now. And he gets in the car and he drives on away.
Why do they have? I don't think the newest car was called Laurie Strode's car, which was the Jeep, but all the others were like cars
They
from the
have
70s
really,
and 80s.
which one we'll get to in a minute. I understand why that's
yeah,
old
that
car.
was kind of that was real cool.
The rest of them, there's no need to have old cars. And Steve Miner said they were expensive. Like the cars and like because they were so like they're vintage. Oh, so why pay for really expensive? He even said like I don't know why we paid for these cars. Doesn't make any sense. Like just get modern Toyota Corolla or some shit. Like whoever can sponsor the film, just throw those cars in there. You know?
Right.
And just cut to a Nissan logo once. Like, shameless advertising. You can do it.
That's not against the rules.
It's not against the rules at all. And it's not going to take me out of the film if I see a car.
That happens in just about every movie.
Yeah. That Wayne's World makes joke about. But and it's not going to take me out of the world just to show a car.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
it happens. It's life.
Whatever.
It's cool.
Small.
Shameless plug. Whatever. It's fine. So yeah, like I say, he drives from Illinois to California, which is like a 23-hour drive. It's a long drive.
It's a day.
But then again, it does. In timeline wise, he was driving all day, gets in there and drives all the rest of the day. So by the time he shows up, it's about accurate that he would be there about that time.
Right about.
So, like again, they took time to think about the logistics of how this would work. It seems like they well thought out some things.
Yeah.
Which is again something the rest of the directors, like Joe Donnelly from 6,
most definitely did not,
and whoever directed 5, I don't even remember.
I can't either. Some
French guy. They did not think about these things. People in 5 didn't think about anything. They just put shit on paper. 6 kind of tried to explain 5. They just did a bad job of it. 5 just said, well, they'll figure it out in the next movie. They tried. Then we actually go to the prep school that Laurie is the headmistress of.
What is the name of the prep school? Do you remember?
Hillcrest. It's on the big gate.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I remember. Hillcrest. And so she's giving this speech because the whole school's going on this trip to Yosemite, this big camping trip, but she won't let her son go. Which
then leads his girlfriend.
So his girlfriend and his friend, played by Michelle Williams.
Gorgeous.
Very famous actress now. Some of you would know her from like The Greatest Showman. And
The Greatest Showman.
She's in a bunch of movies.
She is. And I love her, dude. I love her from Dawson's Creek days, man. Like, see, I didn't realize that it
was the same girl.
Yeah. Because she don't look the same as she did now.
I mean, this was 20 years ago.
Buddy.
It's now been 20 years.
I watched Dawson's Creek growing up with my sister. I had a crush on her. I was like, ooh, hot in here.
Then you see The Greatest Showman, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I didn't recognize her until I saw this.
Yeah. So yeah, good on you, Michelle Williams, for having some roots in horror.
That's why she's got some career. Like, I mean, she's had a career not silently, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's big bangs.
Definitely.
So Josh Hartnett, Michelle Williams, and their friends, which are a couple, basically they're like, oh, we're gonna get out of this.
Since you can't go, we'll stay here.
We'll get out of the
school to ourselves.
Yeah.
Basically.
Which, hey, not
That's
a bad idea.
Legit, you know?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
And the one guy's like, and we'll fuck.
Yeah. Sex.
Pretty much, I think.
We're just gonna. That's like, all right, you're dead. Just kill yourself now.
Just go ahead and walk off the balcony. And you're done. But Jamie Lee Curtis is like you can't drink and you can't do any of this and blah blah blah.
Can't drink, can't smoke, no drugs.
Normal.
No kidding.
Headmistress shit.
It's like no drinking, no drugs, no kidding.
Then she goes to the next room and her secretary is running through a list of things. And her secretary, played by Janet Leigh, her mom, Janet Leigh,
mother-daughter love.
Most famous Janet Leigh for Psycho, being the one stabbed to death in the shower, Marion Crane.
Mm-hmm.
So it was wonderful. I love Janet Leigh. She is adorable. Old adorable, though. I'm just like, I love you. I want you to be my grandma.
I don't like old people.
I love Janet Leigh. And so then she goes in the next room and starts making out with this. He's like the school therapist.
I feel like because she talks to him
about psychology,
and he was trying to talk to her. She's like, "Don't
use that on me. Not today.
Not today." And I'm like, "All right, so this dude's a therapist of some sort."
I think it's the school psychologist or something that the kids would see in there.
Or he probably teaches.
Maybe teaches it
something there.
But they're definitely fucking.
Yeah.
But he does that thing where he just keeps kissing her and trying to talk. She's like, blah, blah, and then. And that's just really fucking annoying to me. I'm like, just say your sentence and then kiss her.
Speak and then kiss. You don't kiss, speak, kiss, speak, kiss, speak, kiss.
It's really annoying for you to try to follow. Like as a listener, I know normally there wouldn't be someone standing next to them listening to them, but like it's weird. But there's this. I don't know if you picked up on this. Is that when he goes to like when they go to leave that scene, they open up the door and Janet Leigh's like, looking all disapproved, and then she goes back to what she's doing. I'm like, and that was improv. That was Janet Leigh improv.
You just kissed my daughter.
I'm like, you are wonderful, Janet Leigh. That was a beautiful reaction shot. And then the picture that we keep seeing of Josh Hartnett, like she has in her office, I think that's Josh Hartnett's headshot.
Wow, I'm sure it is.
It just looks like his acting headshot that they were like, oh yeah, we're casting this movie. We'll use this. And we're going to use this.
That's good.
And maybe Jamie Lee Curtis has kept it on her desk ever since. Just looking at a young Josh Hartnett.
I was like, you're cute.
Although, like, you played my son, and that's probably a little weird. Or not. I mean, she's been married for like years.
Yeah.
Like years. I think they have like 4 kids.
Really? That's wild.
Yeah.
She can't tell.
Huh?
Can't tell on her.
She looks fantastic in this movie.
For like in this movie and now.
She's showing her age more now, but like, no, she's Jamie Lee Curtis. She's fabulous.
Always.
Let us cool down. And then we cut to LL Cool J, who is in this movie, and it's a very 90s thing to say we cut to LL Cool J.
I love LL Cool J in these movies, man. He's the unkillable black man of like death movies.
And so he's writing a romance novel, and he's reading it to his wife on the phone. It's his wife.
Whatever, but it's terrible. It's so bad.
He's like, and then he took out the top to reveal 2 voluptuous melon breasts.
She's like, what you talking about melons? Watermelons, cantaloupe melons? Later, what?
Yeah. He's like, baby girl, women like to read these things. They like descriptive adjectives. Oh, but like, just their banter back and forth. I could get a whole movie of just those two.
That was fun.
Or like a TV show about a guy trying to be a romance writer and his wife just giving him. This looks like something Tyler Perry would make.
That would be. Tyler Perry needs to work on that.
Tyler Perry, you call LL Cool J, whoever this woman on the phone is, and you make this TV show.
LL Cool J and Beyonce.
They couldn't afford Beyonce on a television basis. Like maybe they can get who's that? Nah, we don't have time for this. What? You got
Boys in the Hood.
The mom?
No, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh,
Mia.
Oh,
Mia.
I can't get her. Tyler Perry, get on this podcast right now and do this movie. While he's looking that up, I'm going to continue on with what we were doing. So, Josh Hartnett and his friend. Do we ever get a name?
Charlie?
Charlie. Josh Hartnett. I'm just going to keep calling him Josh Hartnett. And Charlie, they go up to LL Cool J. They're like, hey, man, we need to get into town. Can you open up the gate? He's like, no, man.
Last time. Mom told me last time.
So, like, you can tell this is an often thing. Like, come on, man, be cool. And he's like, no. And his wife's on the phone like, you better not get your ass fired.
Nia Long, sorry.
Nia Long. So he goes, you better not get your ass fired. And he covers up the phone real quick.
Like, whoop. Right to his chest.
And they're like, come on, man. And he's like, fine, but don't get caught. He opens up the gate and they leave.
Go out to town.
And then we get Jamie Lee Curtis, Lori at lunch with this guy she's been seeing. There's some things you don't know about me that I don't know if I should tell you or not. He's like, you can tell me anything. It's fine.
No, you can't.
And she's sitting there talking about like, oh, much where trauma could ever you can never like not recover from it. Anything is recoverable. And then he goes to leave and she does this real nice tricky thing here. Like, I don't know if you quite picked up on why she does this. It's like she orders another glass of wine. She quickly chugs it and gets the other one at was so he would know she had an extra. It was this nice little sneaky thing. She
was like, when she asked the waiter, she was like,
can I get another glass of Chardonnay?
He said today, like with a super
first
shitty attitude.
He looks at her full glass, like, what? And she's like, today?
Like shitty.
Because she wants him to hurry
up
first so she can get it. And he's like, okay.
Whatever you say.
And that guy is not an actor. He was the assistant, like, to one of the guys on set. And they're like, hey, will you do the same? He's like, sure.
You got it, dude.
So I'm sure he actually got Jamie Lee Curtis a glass of Chardonnay at some point, just like on set, like, you boy, hey, and you're like, yes, Jamie Lee Curtis. So then she is like staring in this glass, and the boyfriend comes up behind her,
Scares.
and she thinks it's Mike. She sees Michael in the reflection; it's him. And I'm like, yeah, I guess his hair is slicked back, and it kind of looks.
Well,
like
it's not even like that. It's
just like she's constantly
showing. It's
looking
showing
for
that
him.
she literally has the fear that he's always there.
Always right behind her.
It's not like it had nothing to do with him looking like him. It was.
I guess so.
That's what she's for, especially today.
And then we cut to Josh Hartnett and Charlie, who are leaving. Charlie stole a bottle of wine from the liquor store.
Well, it's at this point. I think it's at this point. It's that they're talking, and this is our first or our second, maybe, Psycho reference. Did you catch it?
No.
They were talking about Charlie was telling John, 20 years from now, you're still going to be living with her, probably running some weird motel out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like Psycho. I thought it was
that's cool. And then so Charlie's like, man, I wouldn't have had to steal this wine if you could just taken some of your mom's. And he's like, man, my mom's a functioning alcoholic.
She knows how much alcoholic to the T. If she's going to have a waiter bring her a full glass and she's going to chug enough, she knows what bottle is in there.
Yeah. So like it's
kind of smart.
Point.
Like, yeah. I mean, like John's like, yeah, I'm not stealing the alcohol from her. She'll know.
Yeah, she'll know. And then just so happens as they're walking down, she's coming out of the restaurant and she's like, what are you boys doing? Charlie, get in the car. And Charlie with his wines, like, get in the car. Like, fuck. Because, that's not his mom. That's his headmistress. He's got to get
teacher.
You got there.
He's gonna get
as soon as he gets in the car, she's like, what the fuck, John? He's like, Mom, I don't like it when you
really appreciate you using that word.
Like, don't give me a reason to use it.
Which was pretty
brutal, yeah.
Like, because it's like out in the open, people are walking around, and you see people just kind of walking by, like staring.
Because she's like, you need to be more cautious. You need to be more responsible. And he's like, I'm not responsible for you, Mom. Damn. Yeah, and then it gets like real heartfelt there for a second. She's like, I understand where he's coming from.
He's been taking care of her for probably since he was 10, 11, 12-ish.
Yeah. And he's 17, and he wants to just be a teenager.
He doesn't want to have to worry about anybody. He wants to be stupid.
Nothing has happened to him in his past. He doesn't want to live in fear. He wants to experience life. And she just wants him not to die prematurely, but like it's controlling and negatively affecting their relationship.
And he's just basically, he just comes out and says, Michael Myers is dead.
He's dead. He's gone. 20 years. He would have showed up by now. Let it go.
You had to go and say that.
They done fucking jinxed it.
Way to go, Josh.
Then they get back, and poor Ronnie, poor LL Cool J here.
It's like, where were you? Like, because he's not there. He's honking the horn, trying to get in the gate.
Yeah, because he was doing the perimeter.
He's checking the perimeter.
And he goes to let him in, and she's like, Ronnie, where were you when these boys got out? And he like puts his head down. She's like, eyes up here, Ronnie.
And then she looks away, and he's like looking at him like,
yeah, because he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, really, man?
Told you I'm going to lose my job because of you, fool.
And then they go in there. I don't know. I really like LL Cool J in this movie.
I really like LL in any movie.
I was about to say in any movie, but like,
I don't
really
care.
Like
He's
him.
really not that great of an actor. I just love him.
No, he's basically just playing LL Cool
J.
No,
100%.
But I'm cool with that. Yeah, it's just so much fun to see this character because he's reading the thing all the time. Then we see Michael's car come up behind their car. So he's scouting that there's a gate here and he has to get past this gate to get to them.
Probably
because he drives away. And he's like, how am I going to get in here without causing a scene? Which, to his credit later, he finds a way.
My question is, why are they going on a field trip to Yosemite in October on Halloween? Because, I mean, I know it's California and on Halloween. I don't know. It's just ever stupid.
The plot needs to happen.
Like, well, we got to empty the school out. So you guys are taking a random. You guys are taking a random camping trip.
Students like just running around campus with Michael Myers.
Why not just start killing people? Just gonna have a random camping trip. You guys get out of school.
Hey,
except for the 2 people that we need to die in this film.
Except for this a couple of people we can have as the cast. The death count in this film very low. which we'll get to it kind of more at the end. But like, yeah, 'cause especially compared to the last few, very low death count, which is okay. It doesn't have to have a high death count. I mean,
Yeah.
the first
I think it's
Halloween
7
had
altogether.
5 total.
I think it's 7 altogether.
Well, I'll count it up later because we've got the 3 people in the beginning so far.
Mhm.
And then again, this is like 30 minutes later, and we have had no death.
Just stalking. The stalk factor is in full
stalking
effect.
and then pure story.
Pure story.
And
true.
it's okay. We're totally hooked still.
Like I'm not just.
I'm not checking the time. I'm not taken out of it. I am totally
True.
along for the ride here. Oh, and then Michelle Williams is doing dishes. I'm just gonna call her Michelle. They're famous enough. I will just call them the actor and actress
Michelle.
name.
Just call her Michelle.
I'm gonna say Michelle Williams. She gets the last name. She's doing dishes, and we kind of see the dumbwaiter set up for later.
Yeah, that was I caught that later too. I was like, oh, there you go.
And it comes down, and she's like, I didn't want any more dishes. She opens it up, and it's flowers, and it's like a map to where they're gonna be at that night. Come on, it's cute. At 17, it's cute, man.
I wasn't cute at 17.
You didn't try hard enough.
I didn't have to. That was bad.
Then we get this shadow jump scare scene where like Josh Hartnett's silhouette kind of looks like Michael
for a split second. Which there's a part in reference that LL Cool J said, "Comb your hair." What do you say? So comb your messy hair. And
comb your hair.
Yeah,
as he yells, "Comb your hair."
Yeah,
combed it.
Messy hair for Mike Myers and messy hair for John.
Yeah. And then we get Lori teaching I don't know what
literature.
Teach literature.
Which they were talking about
Frankenstein.
Yeah. So it's literature.
Or she pronounces it correctly, Frankenstein. It's actually the German pronunciation.
But we're not in Germany.
It's young Frankenstein has fun with that.
Frankenstein.
We're not talking about young Frankenstein. I will go on a whole tangent with
Mel
Brooks if we're going to lose it. And we get this nice take on Halloween 1 in Halloween 1, Lori looks out of the window, sees Michael, and then the teacher asks her a question. She goes in. And this one, Michelle Williams looks out the window.
And I kind of like this better than the first one because in the first one you have
he's just standing in the middle of the street.
You got the top half of his body, or he's behind the Volkswagen, so you can kind of see most of him.
And in this one, you just see his face.
It's like this perfect gate, and it's got the bars, so you just see his head through it, and it gives it much. It's more of a much more chilling.
She's kind of looking, and then Lori's like talks to her and asks her a question. So it's like a parallel. Now Lori is the teacher, and Michelle's kind of Lori.
It was that irony.
Yeah, it was fun.
That you could tell that was definitely done on
Then
purpose.
she answers the question talking about Victor had to face the monster. He could not run anymore because everyone around him was killed.
Definitely. This movie
is a nice parallel for Lori. She's run all this time, and it's done nothing but get the people she loves killed. And she needs to face the monster.
That, my friends, is exactly what she does.
And we'll get to that later. But I'm saying, like, what a cool parallel.
It was. And that's even because they're setting that up. Because it's almost like, all right.
There's a lot of things.
We're going to that's them telling, like, they basically told us what was going to happen before it happened.
Yes.
It's cool.
Like, there's going to be a face-off.
Yep.
But, like, them saying she has to quit being afraid.
Man,
just like Victor was afraid, because you said Victor was afraid of the monster, so he didn't face it. Then he has to face it to save the people he loves.
Mm-hmm.
A revenge of sort. And there's so many. How cool to take the story of Frankenstein and compare it to Halloween, now that are two classics, and find parallels between the two stories and use them as a plot in this story. It's really cool writing.
It was a good job on their part.
I'm just saying, I really like that
to be able to find that connect or make that connection.
And then Lori goes up to John. She's like, "Hey, sorry for," basically, this is not the exact dialogue, but in terms, she goes, "Hey, sorry for being a bitch. You can go to Yosemite because I don't want you to be here because I think some weird shit's about to go down." In her head,
yeah, that's probably
because in her mind, she's like, "I'd rather him be far away from me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, great." He turns around like, "Fuck!" Because they just made these plans to stay there, and he's like, "I gotta find a way around this."
And then Michelle goes, "What was that about?"
And he's like, "Oh yeah, she's letting me go to Yosemite."
So you're going now?
He's like, "Nope." He crumbles
Crumbles
up,
it,
throws
tosses
back.
it.
Like,
I'm staying here to make
one quick
passionate.
thing I liked about this movie is like Josh Hartnett is a good-looking guy.
Dude,
Most of the Michelle Williams is hot,
gorgeous.
but they took these teenagers which have model looks,
Yeah,
and they tried to make them look messy and teenager. Like Josh Hartnett, like he's like,
well, that was like, that grunge look back in the 90s.
I know, but he's got like the messy hair and like the loose tie and things. Like he's not clean cut model. Like some of these 90s horror films, man, some of these teenagers look like Calvin Klein models. And you know what I'm saying? Like at least like they make these kids look like the kids of the 90s.
Right.
So, you know, that was good. That's the thing I liked. It's a small thing there. Then Jamie Lee Curtis is backing up and she bumps into her secretary, Janet Leigh, again. And she's like, "Oh, shit." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Everyone's entitled to a good scare on Halloween." And she's like, "I've had enough.
I've had more than enough of those."
And then Janet Leigh, who was famous from Psycho, she gets in the exact same car she drove. Well, it might not be the exact same type of car. I mean, it's probably not the same one from that set.
I
don't think that was salvaged. It'd be cool if it was. But she gets in that car from Psycho that she drove, that Marion Crane drives in Psycho. And the license plate says
NFB 418, which is
Norman Franklin Bates. 418, does that stand for something, or is that just what they tagged on? Was like Psycho released on April 18th?
Maybe. I'm looking at Bates' middle name. I'm not sure.
They probably didn't have one. But like, how cool that they had Janet Leigh's famous for Psycho, and they put 2 Psycho references in here.
Yeah.
You know, like how lovely.
Well, I'm sure that done on purpose, and they have.
I know it's on purpose.
Definitely plan. Like you do it on purpose, but you got to plan that out. You can't just like.
Well, they're probably like, we got Janet Leigh, like, we got to throw some Psycho.
Oh, definitely, especially with this being like that was like a precursor to the slasher films.
Without Psycho, there's probably no Halloween, and without Halloween, there's no slasher boom.
Yeah, definitely not.
So, like 2 very important films in their own rights, with 2 women that made those films possible together.
It's ironic.
It's wonderful.
That they're family in this sense too.
Michael leaves. He does this thing where he parks the car in front of the gate, leaves it. LL Cool J's Ronnie does this really stupid thing. If you're a guard of the school, he opens the gate,
so dumb,
walks to the car, is like looking around it, and we see Michael walk past him,
legitimately just
and walk to the gate.
Why? I don't understand.
How do you not know someone's directly behind you?
Well, I can get that because it's Mike Myers.
You can probably hear footsteps.
It's Mike Myers is the master of stalking.
Okay. I'll let it slide.
But I can't even get there because if I'm LL Cool J, I'm not opening the gate.
Right, because your main goal is to keep that
I'm
gate
going to
closed.
protect the citizens of this school.
Until you talk to, well, he's probably like, well, there's no one here. But still, you should just, that's like your one job.
You don't open the gate.
You just don't open, unless like it's someone you know.
If nobody is getting out of that car saying, hey, I'm here with a meeting, so blah, 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 you don't open the gate. Don't open the gate. Come on, hello.
Come on, LL, what are you doing?
You done?
Never mind. What?
Nothing.
I don't even need to know. I don't want to know. Let's keep that there. But like, yeah, so such a bad idea. But Michael walks into the gates. Now he's in. He is there.
So turns off the car, which is just.
But still, like, leaves it there.
And then walks back in, shuts the gate.
Like, he doesn't have the keys anymore.
Goes to a security shack and starts talking to his girlfriend again. And you keep like there's like
because there's before that he was talking to
his wife about the story still,
which was fun.
And you got Mike Myers stalking him outside both windows, and like he keeps turning, and then Mike Myers just pops up. And
it's good to get that stalk factor back, man.
Hate the mask.
I do hate the mask. But yeah, we get him talking to his wife at the phone about this.
He's like, you do this every time. Every time you get me riled up, you got to go. And I was like, dang.
What she like this character? She's like, oh, I know she ain't gonna fall for that shit. And then she's like, what's the next line? What'd she say? She's like, well, you know, I'm not gonna fall for that shit. Aha! I knew she wasn't gonna like. She's like, at first she was getting him shit like, hey, you need to stop. He's like, just give me another year to try to kick off this ride thing, and then I'll work for your dad. And then now it's like she loves his writing. Like that's
Right.
probably how he got her
Yeah.
to be with him in the first place.
Definitely.
And then she's like, "What stupid lines did you use next?" He's like, "The same one I used on you."
Same one I used on you.
And it's like,
I use good lines. I know that.
oh, wonderful
Good lines.
dialogue. Wonderful dialogue.
You gotta be smooth with words, Ella. Cool
Then the
smooth
phone
with
dies.
words.
Like she's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going?"
Click. Cuts it.
Because Michael
Which
just
I was
walks
just
in and is
trying
like,
to-
"Nope."
Like, what's he? Just,
Because the only one calling out.
but
It's a Michael
I
staple.
know
They could
why.
get them phones
I know
cut.
why. How is my question?
And then Lori's sitting there by like this corridor, and she sees Michael walking, and she closes her eyes, opens them up, and he's still coming. Closes them, opens them up, still coming. Closes them. Hand grabs her. She goes, "Ah!" And it's her boyfriend. I'm like, why do you keep mistaking him specifically for Michael Myers?
That's the only person walking up behind her for some reason.
That's true. Like, why do you keep? I never approach someone from behind.
Yeah,
all day
I'd
long.
be like, hey.
Yeah, like, hey, how's it going? Like as I'm approaching, not just like, how's it going? Hi.
Actually, I probably scare the living shit out of somebody constantly.
Okay, maybe not all, especially with her.
I would.
Her specifically.
He doesn't know yet. Not yet.
I know, but she's got problems, and you don't sneak up on somebody with issues.
You don't know that.
I do, as a rule of thumb. Just don't do that. I wrote in my notes like, it's just your boyfriend. Calm the fuck down. Like, quit mistaking this guy for Michael Myers. Oh man. And then the girls are in their room watching Scream.
Originally, we're not watching Scream in the original cut.
What was in the original cut?
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, was that also owned by Dimension?
I don't know.
Because the reason why Scream is being played in the background is because Dimension Films make both films, so they have the rights to Scream. And Kevin Williamson wrote part of Halloween H20 and wrote Scream, so it's like they got double rights there.
Yeah.
To use Scream. Then Jamie Lee Curtis goes into her house and grabs her emergency vodka, which is like under the meat in the freezer, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like that's like her like, I need a drink now vodka. But it's like straight cheap vodka. Like it's a plastic bottle and everything. It's some like cheap ass vodka. So like it's basically like fucking rubbing alcohol with what you're drinking.
More than less.
It tastes, I know that kind of vodka. It's terrible.
I'm glad you know that.
College. We all went there.
Did we?
I did.
I didn't.
Then we cut to the kids, and they're in the basement, I'm assuming, of the school.
I'm pretty sure it's a basement of like that
because it's got like,
cafeteria.
insulation in the ceiling and shit.
Yeah,
so
it's got those like heater ducts.
And like, the both couples are cute.
I'm pretty
and, like,
sure
the one couple made all this fucking food.
I'm pretty sure that somebody was getting sacrificed in that basement though with all
Hold
those
on.
candles.
We'll get to that in just a second. So they make all this food, just carrying it down. Just like, I thought that couple was cute. She's like, oh, it's my goal to be fat one day. He's like, okay. I like chunky women. She's like, you're such a Renaissance man. It's like cute dialogue,
That's not cute. That's cheesy.
I find it cute.
Of course you do.
And then he said there are so many fucking candles in this scene.
I was about ready to think like maybe those guys are part of the Thorn crew and they're gonna, sacrifice John.
Is this where the plot's tied in? Like, damn, dude, that was a lot. Like,
it was a lot.
There's probably like no joke, like 50 candles.
50. There was probably a couple hundred, no joke.
Like they're just lining like row by row, like on both sides, next to like insulation.
Filled a room
with candles.
In a very flammable room.
Like, there's a different cut of this movie where like Michael Myers doesn't show up and they die in a fire.
They just die in a fire. That's it. Movie over.
Then we cut back to Jamie and her boyfriend, and he's like, dude, he does weird shit, man. He's like chewing food and kissing her. So he's like talking and chewing and kissing her. I'm like, you're doing so many gross things. Stop.
Right now. Stop.
He's like, I don't even remember. Because she's like talking about, like, you don't know about my past, like.
She starts telling him.
She starts telling him about Michael and killing her sister and then coming after her. He's blowing right past it. Because he's horny.
Like, oh, well,
He's like, well, that's terrible.
and then I think he realizes who.
In a couple minutes he does, but first he's like, "Want to take your clothes off?" He's like chewing and kissing her and talking at the same. What the fuck, dude? Like, this is weird. This is really fucking weird. What
Make
you're doing?
up your mind.
Like,
Eat.
like I'm just imagining saliva and bits of whatever he's eating. Just like
kiss or
left in
sex.
her
Can't
neck.
do all three.
Like, oh,
Yeah, you're gross.
so fucking weird, dude. Why is Steve Miner not like cut? What the fuck is that? Stop eating and just do it normally.
Please, just kiss her. Do the kissing and talking thing, not the kiss, eating, and
That's
talking
fine.
thing.
Just that weird, taking it over the edge. Like, it's kind of weird with the talking and the kissing, but the chewing and the talking, it's too much. I can't even. The cameras.
Chewing
confused.
and
Your kids with the chewing and oh no, that reference. You can't even make Bill Cosby jokes without it going bad. It's like you can't talk about Kevin Spacey movies anymore. Oh, we can't. You can't. What are you talking about, Kevin Spacey?
I can talk about Kevin Spacey.
I love Seven.
I love
most of his movies.
Dude, what's Kevin Spacey's best movie? Usual Suspects.
That's true. We'll have to do that one day on the podcast.
That's a good one. One of the best movies.
But like, you can't really talk about Kevin Spacey films anymore. Everyone's like, "Well, he's a terrible person."
Back on track. Hit the back on track button. It's on track.
All right. Yeah, he does. You realize she's not kidding. He's like, "Whoa, like you're Laurie Strode."
Laurie Strode.
Michael Myers. Everybody knows that story.
So
Which
maybe
now
we should have a conversation about your mental health.
This is cool because it's like for the past films, it's like only Haddonfield seems to be aware of Michael Myers and what he's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Which really half the time Haddonfield doesn't fucking know what's going on. But like now it's like the whole world knows about this because this would be like such a big news story.
Yeah, definitely with like the
especially in the
hospital
70s.
Blowing up and stuff.
Yeah, like this would be all over the place. And it was we see all the newspaper clippings and everything, so it's like we feel the effects now.
Yeah,
we see how big this thing is and why she would need to move and change her name and things like that to avoid all of this. Like there a lot of thought was put into this. And then he's like, you don't think he'd ever come back, do you? It's almost like he's like, shit, I'm not gonna die, am I? Yeah,
I gotta go.
Mom, eat,
Mom.
I'm gonna go eat and talk on the phone.
Where's the meatloaf, Mom?
Mom. Like, I'm just imagining this dude's gross as fuck all the time. Like, I don't like him because of how weird he is.
He plays an Aryan Brotherhood rapist in Sons of Anarchy.
Does he? He's also, I think, in like Law and Order or something.
I don't
His
know.
name's Adam Arkin.
I know him from Sons of Anarchy.
Either way, I don't like him in this movie just because of the weirdness. And there's nothing wrong with his character per se. People just keep scaring Laurie, like because her and her boyfriend they run out, and LL Cool J shows up, and they're like, she's like, ah, like Jesus, stop scaring me.
As at this point, she realizes that
some danger.
They were talking about when it was and how old she was, and she was like, I'm 17, and then she looks up and sees
like her son just
John's birthday card 17, and she's like flipped out.
She's like, you don't think the bus left, did it? And she goes to his room, and all of his camping gear still in there, so she knows he didn't go on the trip.
Goes over and grabs the revolver, the 6-shooter.
She goes walk out the door, and LL Cool J
6 times, Sheriff.
I shot him 6 times.
Everyone, I don't care.
Every podcast,
everyone 6 times, Sheriff.
Isn't in any of these movies where it's like,
yeah, I don't care. Everyone,
but no, like what? Like he pops up, she's like, Jesus Christ, quit scaring me. Like, you can tell she's getting very pissed at being scared. Like, either Jamie Lee Curtis or even just Laurie in general. She's like, I'm tired of people jumping out at me all fucking
It's
day.
funny because Jamie Lee Curtis came out and said that even to 20 years after, she was still getting terrified on set with Mike Myers walking around in costume.
She's never watched any of the horror films she's in because she is not a horror
She is not.
On the commentary, you can hear her. She's like, "Oop, I don't like this part." And you can hear her like, "Can I look now? Can I look now?" And Steve Miner's like, "Yeah, you're good.
You're good."
Watch it. Like the bathroom scene, she's coming up. She's like, "Oh no, he's gonna murder her." She's like, "No, Jamie. Like nobody dies in this scene. It's cool to look." She's like, "Yeah, you're just lying. You're dying." Like she really doesn't like horror films, but she's an actress known for being
she's a scream queen
for being in the horror films. And it's funny that she doesn't like horror films at all. Yeah. Has never watched any of the films that she's been in that are horror films.
I wonder how many actors and actresses don't watch movies at their end.
Well, a lot actually, because like you work on it for so long, and you're like,
I don't even care.
Watching yourself is a little
weird,
egotistical.
I think it's weird. I haven't watched it.
I don't like watching myself because I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't like how I am.
I don't like how I sound.
Sometimes I have to watch things, like when I'm editing and stuff. I have to rewatch things. I'm like, ooh, okay, let's never watch this again when it's out there. It's like this podcast. I will probably never watch it again unless someone tells me there's a problem with the video. That's the only time I'll watch it.
Sounds about right.
Because I don't, in my free time, I do not want to look at myself.
Most definitely not. There's much things better to look at than me.
So many better things to look at than myself. But yeah, this movie does have, this is the 90s horror cliche. So many fucking jump scares. Like people just keep, like again, people keep popping out at Laurie. Why I like the original so much is there's no like unnecessary It's just like let the images and the when's it gonna happen terrify you more than the
jump,
a loud noise.
Yeah.
Because
or a cat in the dumpster.
Things that modern horror, about 75% of modern horror filmmakers don't understand is that jump scares in the theater, you go, because it's a loud noise. But then when you rewatch it, you're like, oh, this loud noise is coming up.
Yeah.
And then the film has no rewatch value because you
lost it.
It's a
one-time movie. It's like the same thing that's like Paranormal Activity.
Right.
It was a good movie in theater. Great movie.
80% of Paranormal Activity, you're like waiting for shit to happen that doesn't happen, but you're like, oh my God, is it going to happen yet? And then you watch it again, you're like, well, nothing happens for a good like 40 minutes, so I'm good.
I'm just going to go take a nap.
I'm watching people sleep.
But I mean, this one, I think they did it in a tasteful manner where it's still a good movie to watch, even though I know stuff is coming. I can still watch it.
I mean, I like this movie more than some of those films we were talking about. I'm saying I really hate like
they
overdo it. Yes, thank you. They overdo it. And like it's with the podcast that we do on this channel, we try to find things we like about films and things we dislike about films. Sometimes it's hard one way or the other, but that is one thing I do dislike about this film is it falls in that cliche multiple jump scares.
But I think this was at the peak of it because it was late 90s.
Well, Scream's there's pre-Scream and there's post-Scream. This is a post-Scream horror film and is also written by the same guy as Scream. So it has Scream things. But the Scream comes out in 96.
Right.
This is 98. So this is part of the teeny bopper slasher craze. Mm-hmm. The whodunits. Even though this isn't a whodunit, like most of the teeny bopper slashers are who's the killer kind of thing.
Right.
Like Scream
Scooby-Doo,
was. Like Scream was. Scream was a whodunit.
Yeah.
With a twist because there was two.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get a lot of jump scares and it gets annoying, but like it's still like the story has enough substance to rewatch. Right. Yes, because I've seen this movie a lot. Like I've seen Halloween H2O.
I think I've seen this one the most out of all of them.
Yeah, about 20 times. Maybe less.
I don't keep counting.
Maybe in the teens.
He keeps counting movies like he's seen like, I've seen it 176 times.
It's all in the brain, bro.
I've seen it a lot.
I can remember a lot.
I can't.
When it comes to films, I just remember dates and numbers and.
Yeah, just like, have you seen that movie? Yeah, I saw it a couple times back then. Well,
when I talked to you about a franchise, like I don't know which ones I've seen, but I've seen things from some of them.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I could tell you. Well, I've seen most franchises, all of them, but like I could tell you specifics.
Yeah, like Friday the 13th. I'm pretty sure I've seen majority of them, but I don't know which ones I've seen because I usually watch them on TV. I never watched them on DVD or anything like that.
Well,
same thing with Halloween's up until recently.
One day we'll go with Friday the 13th, but we're taking a break from franchises for 20 videos because man. Like I love Halloween, but it's like you go to the good and the bad, and like this is week 6. We've been on this. I think so. I think this is week 6.
7.
No,
because we did 2. That's right, 6.
And that takes a lot out of us, and we got to figure out how we're doing Halloween Resurrection this week.
Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah. By the way, since our next podcast will be post Thanksgiving,
we're gonna use the Mike Myers to cut our Thanksgiving turkey.
Chef's knife.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do.
No, I'm going to use the one that I used in this one with the blood on it.
You put cranberry sauce on it.
Cranberry sauce. All right.
Don't leave fake blood on your family dinner, DJ. That's not healthy.
Maybe the fake blood was cranberry sauce.
It'd be kind of a purple.
Who knows?
Whatever. Fake blood's usually like corn syrup. It said in Scream. It's corn syrup. And or no, does it say ketchup? No, ketchup is Scary
corn
Movie.
syrup. They say corn syrup.
Because Scary Movie is ketchup.
Yeah.
He's like, ketchup.
Right.
Yeah. See, some of them plots are so close. Oh God. So this is where we get the kid Charlie. He goes to get a corkscrew for the wine, and he drops the corkscrew down the sink, and he like turns on the garbage disposal. Like, why? It could have flown out and killed him.
Not even that. It's just like, what kind of moron in his right mind?
Was he thinks it's gonna pop out or something?
There's no concept or thinking.
There's no good outcome.
There's not. There's no reason.
So then he sticks his hand down there, and we get this long of like he's like,
and it was that like, oh, we're gonna cut his hand off.
We see Michael coming
up behind him.
I was like, he's gonna flip on that thing, and the corkscrew is always gonna be blood. No, that does not happen.
Rips it out.
He gets the corkscrew out, turns around, and Michael's there, and we get this. Now we're gonna talk about this. This is I'm about to get mad here for a minute. Like this movie, this is the worst part here. Stupid fucking CGI mask on Michael in this scene. Why is there a CGI mask? How hard is it to wear a fucking mask?
Because they decided to like the mask, so they changed it
to make it look worse.
But they changed it in all the other scenes. They reshot the other scenes, except for this scene. They changed it to a CGI mask.
It's like blue.
Is terrible.
It's fucking blue, and it's got this weird look on its face. And you can tell it's CGI.
Very bad.
So bad. I felt so sorry for the guy. I can't remember the actor's name playing Michael, but like he has to look stupid because of that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like I can't.
It's the only scene.
Tell me the guy who plays Michael so I can give him credit because he did a good job playing Michael. He'll probably be toward the ends of the credits because they always credit the killer like last. Sorry for the pause here in the podcast. I got to know his name. It's going to bug me. Chris Duran. Thank you. He did a good job.
He's a short little dude. Or scrawny. He was scrawny.
Yeah, you could tell Michael's slim in this.
He was scrawny in this one.
But, hey, he did a good job.
He did.
For being the teeny bopper, Michael. Like, yeah, did a good job. Did better than the last guy. Which was half George P. Wilbur, #A, whatever. I liked him better. Which, in our Halloween movie rankings, we should also do Michael rankings. Like, we go through the movies, we should say who played the best Michael. Yeah, it'll be a little thing we can do. Because sometimes you can rank multiple things in a franchise when we do our ranking videos just to spice it up a little bit, but I think ranking the Michaels will be good. Any slasher, if there's multiple people playing, we could do the who played it best. I think that's the only things we can do is like the ranking the movies and ranking the Michaels. There's no other like.
No, there's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
Ranking the deaths.
Just top 5 deaths
out of them all.
That'll be look out for that when we're done with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I went way away from the microphone. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. We'll talk after that. We'll talk about our ranking all the minus the new Halloween film because DJ has not seen it. I saw it 3 times. I could tell you where it falls in my rankings, but I'll wait until January 15th. Halloween 2018 hits Blu-ray, and we may do it on the podcast. Just because we've done them all, we might as well just hit the last one. And then I'll tell you where it falls on my new rankings, and then DJ can tell you where it falls on his new rankings.
Sound of it, I think it's going to be pretty high.
It is a fantastic film. Cannot wait for it to come out. Back to the film we watched tonight. Not the one we're going to watch in January. I lost my track and my notes here. Yeah, so he sees CGI mask Michael, and he goes, hi.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man.
So nonchalant.
Just like, I get it in a sense because this kid probably has no idea about Michael Myers, no idea about anything, and he's just kind of like, maybe he's like, who are you playing a prank? You know, it's Halloween.
But still, they're like, the only ones there. I'd be slightly concerned.
Yeah. And I think he probably was.
Maybe he's just like a nervous.
That's why he was kind of like a hi.
So then his girlfriend She goes looking for him, and the dumbwaiter comes down, and she's like, "Oh, ha ha!" And she goes to touch him, and his throat's
Like Charlie, and Charlie's waking him up, and she like moves him, and it shows his throat's like cut open.
which I wonder what he used. If it was his
'Cause he
knife or
didn't
the
use
corkscrew,
knife. He had to use the corkscrew. I wonder if there's an edited cutout scene.
where he does it.
He does it.
I would like to see it.
Yeah. Because that would have been.
Well, this film, we're going to talk about this real quickly, is an hour and 20 minutes, which is almost the length of this podcast.
We're getting there.
Hour and 20 minutes is the bare minimum to be a feature film. So it's like they really could have added a couple of extra scenes. I've been totally fine. I don't like this movie has no filler. In fact, this movie kind of rushes some things that I wish it would take some more time on, which at the end I'll kind of say what I would like to see more of. So she's like, "Oh my god!" And then she turns around and Michael's like in the doorway. She's like, "Oh shit!" And she gets in the dumbwaiter. She hits the button to go up, and she starts to go up. And Michael like peeps his head in and looks up. And so she goes to get out of the dumbwaiter, and she gets her foot caught under.
No, she gets her leg stabbed 1st,
Mhm.
and then as she goes up and she's trying to crawl out, her foot gets caught
under him,
under her dead boyfriend's leg.
Which should be able to move him, but
like,
plot.
Yeah.
So Michael cuts the rope to the dumbwaiter, and it comes crashing, and it smashes her leg,
which basically decapitates it. Not decapitates
it's
it.
decapitations for head.
Yes, I'm aware. That's why I took
severs.
it back, you jack.
It almost completely severs it. It's like hanging.
Yeah. It's dangling by some thread.
And it looks nasty, dude. It looks
pretty gruesome.
Great for the effects here. But really, this movie has minimalistic gore. Like, it's not like 6 was gorier than this one.
Yeah.
Well, the theatrical cut of 6, the producer's cut was a little less.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, DJ.
Thanks.
So she's like pulling herself away, and Michael comes in there and like puts his foot on her neck, like holds her down and just stab. He's like going like this, just stabbing her.
Literally goes to town on her back.
Yeah.
Like just steps on her head.
Like Lizzie Borden.
That was like, to me, that was like you're a bug on my boot type of killing, you know? I'm just going to step on you and just.
He just, no mercy.
Brutal.
Then.
What he does to her after. Oh my God.
Where's that?
Yeah.
I have one dispute with that in a second. So our heroes, I guess, Josh Hartnett, Michelle Williams, are two future stars.
Yeah.
Find a blood trail, and instead of doing the smart thing, which I would do, fake or not, be like, oh, "Fuck that, going the other way."
Like seriously, like there's a point where I'm really like, "Wow, that's a lot of corn syrup blood." And I don't know. I'm just gonna go.
They took a lot of time to set this up.
I'm not going that way.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
Either I'm gonna get scared the shit out of or murdered.
That way. Turn around.
Yeah, and they don't. They follow the whole blood trail
all the way up into the friend's body, which is dangling in like a freezer,
closet,
pantry, something.
Pantry. It looks like a pantry.
And she's like hooked up to a light.
And the light's like inside
of her chest.
How the fuck did he have time to do that? It's just like the guy in the tree with the lights in 6. It's like, how the fuck did he have time to do all that?
But it was brutal. Like I liked it because it was like, dude.
Yeah, because the lights.
Because when they flicked the light on, it like started sparking, and I was
in
like,
her chest. It's like that does look really cool, but at the same time, it's like Michael's like, fuck, like stringing lights up.
Hurry up! I got 30 seconds.
I want to see that cut of the movie.
Almost over, dude. I want it. Like there needs to be a whole movie that shows nothing but
Michael
Myers does from scene to scene.
And like they come, he's like, "Fuck it!"
In live time,
he like ducks on her table, like.
Now I can hold my breath.
I really want to see that cut of the movie.
That's like a SNL skit for you.
Then we get this Scream-esque chase. It's like they ran out of the building. Michael jumps from like nowhere, grabs Michelle Williams by her perfectly styled hair.
Ugh.
Josh Hartnett punches him in the face
like 3 times.
And then Michael's like, "Fuck you!"
Throws him down.
Throws him and stabs him in the leg. Which why wouldn't he just stab him in the chest?
Because I think he was crawling away.
He's like, "Fuck, you're too famous. I can't murder you."
Well, I think he was crawling away and like he kind of pushed himself back. And same thing as the arm slash.
The arm slash was more believable than this.
I'm gonna go with no.
You're gonna disagree.
Of course you will.
He meant to arm slash her.
He did not.
He didn't mean to just stab him in the leg.
He did not mean to arm slash her. He did not. He missed. We're not
And
arm.
we're back to this. We're back to square one.
He did not. He missed.
No, he misses coming up. We'll talk about. He meant to do the first arm slash. DJ lives in a world of denial, but I'm here to set it straight. I'm here to set the record straight for you viewers.
Vote.
Those of you, we'll make this a thing now. Those of you who watched Halloween,
the first one
where he goes and
78
cuts her in the arm. Did he mean to cut her in the arm, or was he trying to kill her and did he miss? Comment below yes or no.
Not comment. Miss or not? Yes or no.
Okay, that doesn't make sense. Comment below. Comment below. Missed or on purpose. We'll tally the votes and we'll say who's right on the next podcast. Fair enough?
Deal.
And also tell us about that Josh Hartnett movie if you've seen that one. What was that
Faculty.
one? Faculty. Have you seen Faculty? Because I really want to prove to DJ that no one has seen the movie. Not saying it's not
And if you haven't, watch it just so you can say that you watched it and prove me right.
Be honest in your comments.
Lie.
So we get this scream escapades and the stab in the leg. Then Michelle Williams hits him with a rock. So once again, Michael
Myers gets beat by the rock, man.
I put.
See, I'm telling you right now.
Michael Part 2.
I'm telling you right now. The one person who can stop Michael Myers.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Rock bottom it, dude.
Dwayne
Rock bottom
Johnson and Kevin Hart in the new Halloween movie. You mean we got to run to Michael Myers?
I would love to see Kevin Hart in Michael Myers film, dude.
Just comes out of the closet. Oh my God!
What's about? I ain't going in there. Nope.
What do you mean you want me to walk out this dark ass alley?
Nope.
And then like Kevin Hart screams and Dwayne just comes in and spears Michael Myers to the ground.
Rock bottom. Rock bottom.
Okay. Scary Movie 6 is being written here.
We're all like Scary Movie 12 by now.
No, that's Scary Movie 6. The fifth one was the last one. There's been some off-brand ones, but they're still not Scary Movie.
It was a joke.
Oh, it's so loud. Oh. It's like that. I didn't like how it felt in my ears because it was like, ugh. It was kind of sexual. You did that. That was a little too close that we got. Just saying. Then we get this. I really don't like this. I understand the suspense here, but like she's got all these fucking keys, and she can't get the gate open for a while because she's got to find the right key.
But she gets it on time.
Yep, and then she.
But what does she do?
She drops her keys on the
outside.
Like she was like, wow, like. Then she's like trying to reach, and they're just out of reach, and Michael's coming. She's like, "Fuck!"
But it was like when he was reaching through, trying to slash. That was
so they're back against the wall, and he's doing that
just straight up, and it was a flashback to
Halloween 2,
not
when he's shot in the eyes and he's throwing the scalpel.
No, I was talking about which was it, 4 or 5 when she was in the it was 5.
5 when she's in the laundry chute.
Laundry chute, and he's stabbing up there.
Man, Michael Myers gets pinned in corners.
He does. He's like, damn it, I'm so close.
Come here. Walk a little closer.
You get over here.
You damn kids. So then Lori finally opens the door, lets the kids in. She closes the door, and we get this awesome shot where like she looks out the window and Michael.
Dude, that was epic. Like I stopped. I looked. I was like, dude, that shot right there is epic. Just like face to face.
For the first time in 20 years, they're looking eye to eye.
Like I wish that I could remember, like if I don't know, like watching that for the first time and being a fan of it.
Be like, shit.
That would be like the first time the Avengers got together.
But in the new movie, Nick Castle is Nick Castle and another guy are playing Michael. But so when Laurie and Michael meet in this one, so after 40 years, Nick Castle and Jamie Lee Curtis are face to face again.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope. I gotta see it.
Pretty cool.
Pretty dope, man.
And also the other guy playing him was fantastic. Sidetracked.
Again.
So, and then her boyfriend bitches out. He's like, "What are we gonna do?" She's like, "Try to live."
I said, try to man up, not bitch out.
Then he's like, oh my God, look out. And he shoots a figure coming down the corner, and it's LL Cool J.
LL, why you gotta do that?
Again, why are you just walking around the corner unannounced when you know this shit's going down?
Well, no,
maybe in case Michael's there. Don't want to be like, I'm
like,
here.
Not, like, hey, is anybody around there? And you get stabbed in the chest by Mike Myers. No, thank you. I'm running around that corner.
But like, Michael was actually close.
Yeah.
So it's like, he heard the gunshot. Fuck.
Nope.
He's like,
I'll wait.
Second.
I'll wait right here.
I want to get shot.
Like, I bet he was like peeking through that crack in the door, and he waited for him to get real close. And then once he saw those close, he went, ah.
So like, they shoot LL Cool J, and he's like, oh my God, he's dead. We gotta get out. And then Michael comes and stabs the dude and picks him up, kind of like the nurse with the scalpel alley too. Except he's like
seizuring out over here.
If you could put it in the medical terms, I guess if you get stabbed in the spine,
it would probably
your body your sensory nerves.
He got in the spine per se.
He got it. It could have been
because it was from the side.
No, it was kind of in his back a little bit.
It started piercing through though.
I'm just saying maybe
you saw it rip out
when he kind of comes up. Maybe he got the spine and it caused the sensory nerves to short circuit.
We'll stretch it.
I'm trying to give him an out because at least we can stretch it to give him an out. Halloween 6, there was no saving anything.
Yeah.
So again, another person close to Lori is murdered
in front of her.
Then they run away, and Michael goes and sees a closet with blood on the knob. And he's like, aha, back to the closets we are. And he bursts through the closet, and she comes up behind him with a fire extinguisher. It's like, bam!
Smashes him in the back of the head.
Like, not a fucking again am I getting in a closet.
Nope, not this time. So she runs and gets the kids out of the other closet.
Yes. And they get in the car, and we're like, oh my God, are they going to drive away? And that's the end of this movie. And so she gets to the gate, she opens it up, and she's like, you guys get out of here. I'll be right behind you. And they're like, okay. And they drive off, and she closes the gate.
What does she pick up?
A rock.
She picks up a rock
and smashes the button of the gate, smashes glass, grabs a fire axe, and she's ready to fight Michael.
She's ready to fight.
And we get this awesome music cue. So she walks out. She's like, Michael! And we get dun 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 dun.
But it's like it's an intense
because it builds
rendition.
As soon as she screams Michael, it goes hi. We get bam in that music, and I'm like, that was perfect.
It's like a 90s rock.
That was
it was
perfect.
Great.
I really did.
Great composure.
Great score. Jerking this movie off at this point. It's fucking.
We just went there.
I usually do. Hope not. Badass Lori here. Michael comes in, gives her another arm slash. This one, accident, because he was really going for her and she moves. And then she's like, arm slash, axe to the
chest.
Well, it's like a
shoulder,
chest, shoulder
right here.
And so he falls down. At least he didn't get knocked down a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Like this, Michael's a little more resilient. Then she's like hiding. We get this really cool scene. I kind of like it. She's under a table and she's trying to like get past him. And so he like slashes one side, goes and he slashes the other side because he's standing on top of the table and she's trying to.
There's like it's like a room 6 or 7, 8.
It's where they were doing that whole meeting in the beginning of the movie, so we see this how big this room is, and so like she's dodging all the slashes, and finally he's like, "Fuck it," and he starts picking throwing tables behind him, and she's like just one ahead of him every time. Then she runs out and she grabs the flagpole, stabs him with that flagpole.
Dude, she's getting like using her head. Just like anything she can get her hands on, she's using.
Come at me, bro.
She is fighting tooth and nail survival.
Then they get to this knife fight where she's got all these knives.
She starts throwing them, and I'm like, don't throw. You've got like a knife. Just stab them and just keep grabbing.
Yeah, cleaver. Cleave him in the head, something. But no, she's like trying to be cool. And then finally she gets a knife. She's just stabbing him, and he falls off this balcony through one of the tables below.
And then
we're getting right here to the end because then it's a short movie. LL Cool J's like, he's dead. He's dead.
So she goes down and she's about ready to stab him again. That's when LL Cool J, who does not die because he's the unkillable black man.
Well, LL Cool J always has to appear he's dead because in Deep Blue Sea too, the shark bit him. And you're like, oh shit, LL Cool J's dead. He's like, nah, man, I'm killing this shark. Let's get out of here. Bring me some sushi, bro. He didn't say bro, but he says bring me some sushi.
Bring me some sushi.
Can't wait to do Deep Blue Sea one time.
That's a good one.
Anyway, so, and then LL Cool J's got like a head bandage on. And he's like, honey, I got this great idea. I'm going to write a thriller. A thriller. And he's like, nah, man, it's cool. The bullet just grazed me a little bit.
And yet he was out. He was dead.
There was a lot of blood
there. There was a lot of blood.
But it's like, whatever, man. It's LL
I
Cool
don't
J.
care.
I'm cool with it. And then Jamie Lee Curtis is like, nah, fuck this shit. We ain't doing
So did
this
she
whole-"
see him move or something?
No.
No.
She grabs the gun and she's like, nobody move.
First of all, there
She's
was
still
quite a
holding
bit.
the
There's
axe.
quite a bit of cops. She's still holding the axe, but there's quite a bit of cops. She grabbed the cop's gun, pointed it at 2 cops, and then all the other cops just kind of sat there and
They
be
didn't
like,
want her to shoot.
all right. That's not how that works.
I know. I'm stretching for plot.
I'm
but
just saying.
it's badass because she's like, load him in. And they put him in the van. She gets in the van, drives it off, and he's in a body bag in the back. And she's like, come on.
I know you're
on.
not dead, Michael.
And then you see him sit up. and
Like
he's
rip open
rips open the bag. He goes to get her. She stomps on the brakes. He goes flying
through the windshield.
And she's
Waiting for that car explosion.
Yeah. And then he stands up and she drives, hits him with the car, careens off.
Another badass moment though, because he's like dangling like back in the front windshield, hanging on, and they got that face to face again, which was pretty epic.
And she's like,
and she smiles at him too, with that like that. I got you now. And I was like, oh yeah.
And they flip off this like little cliff thing.
Yeah.
And so the van, she flies out of the van, and then
unharmed.
He hits a branch, and then the van smashes into him. But he's not dead.
Of course.
Because he's like, oh, fuck. And she walks up to him, holding the axe, and he's like,
reaching out for her.
And she starts to maybe touch his hand. She's like, she rears back, cuts his head off with an axe. Head rolls away. End movie.
End credits. Epic ending.
Which, a resurrection, we'll talk about how Michael's still alive. And the reason why we get the ending that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Mustafa Cod has it in Halloween's contract. If anyone does a Halloween film, you cannot kill Michael Myers. If you kill Michael Myers in your movie, you have to think of a way to unwrite how he died for the people who make the next film. Which explains in the new film the ending that we get. The reason why we get it, it's in the contract. Because even though Mustafa Cod is dead, Malika Cod has kept the contract the same. So you cannot completely kill Michael Myers. He has to have some sort of way of coming back. I know what you're thinking. He got his head cut off.
Correct.
But
yeah,
there's a way out.
There always is.
But you see, and another reason that they had to write this ending, because the original ending is she drives the van, she jumps out, the van careens off a cliff and explodes.
That's the ending I want.
That's the ending you want. But you see, Mustafa Cod said, you cannot do that. And they were going to shoot in 11 days to start the film. And Jamie Lee Curtis says, if I can't kill Michael Myers, I'm not doing this movie. And Steve Miner's like, God damn it. So he's like, what if Kevin Williams is like, hey, what if we make it look like you killed Michael Myers and your character thinks you've killed Michael Myers, but you didn't kill Michael Myers. She's like, okay, I can accept that. So thanks to Kevin Williamson for making sure this movie got made.
Okay.
So that was Halloween H2O. DJ, final thoughts on Halloween H2O?
Pleased. Very pleased. I mean, it's like we said earlier, it's great to see actually a good movie that I can sit through and not get angry at all, rather than the past two where I was angry quite a bit.
My thoughts to end here. This was short. Especially I could have used more from Josh Hartnett. Like, they made this whole big deal in the beginning about introducing him, and he just goes away at the end.
He was in it a bit.
He's only in danger for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I would really like to see him and his mother fight Michael.
I would like to see him fight Michael, period.
Also a thing.
Like, not see Lori die or anything.
But just have her can't get to him. And he has to, yeah.
her be injured,
and then he have to fight.
She needs his help.
You know, and we never see him again in any sequels. So it's like, I really wish I could have saw more there. I could have saw more from LL. I could have saw more characters, more cannon fodder.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Solid, especially with what we get later. This is a good Halloween film. And thank you to Steve Miner and Jamie Lee Curtis for making that happen.
Definitely. It's a good one.
Join us next time when we talk about Halloween Resurrection from 2002, I believe is when that film was released. Thank you guys again. My name is Mac Taylor.
And I'm DJ.
And this is Film Vomit Podcast.
Have a great night.